everyone, and welcome back to another Artifact Corner. Today we will be looking at this amazing coffee tin from the very early 1900s. This is a tin made by the Blanke's Coffee Company and is designed to look like a trunk with leather straps. This particular roast was called the Happy Thought Coffee Roast. It states on the tin that the beans are cleaned before and after roasted, and that this coffee will make a cup that cheers and invigorates. It also states that the beans are put in this trunk warm and clean from the roasters and is blended so as to produce a delicious cup of coffee. The Victorians and Edwardians were really the masters of eye-catching advertising and marketing. Let's learn a bit more about Blanke's coffees. Cyrus Frederick Blanke was born on October 24, 1862, to Frederick and Carolina Blanke in Marine, Illinois. He attended local primary school and then studied business at college in St. Louis. He then went on to become a clerk, and when he was 20, he went on to work for the Steinwender and Stofregen Coffee Company in St. Louis. In 1889, he married Eugenia Frauen. The next year, he left the coffee company he was working for and struck out to found his own coffee and tea company. His premier brand was Faust Coffee, and before the turn of the century, it was the coffee served at Tony Faust's celebrated St. Louis restaurant and on the Wabash Railroad. He'd later spin off other companies, including St. Louis Tin and Sheet Metal, which enabled him to make coffee cans for his company. In 1904, the World's Fair was set to take place, and Cyrus wanted to position his coffee company front and center. Blanke joined fellow coffee kings William J. Kinsella and Julius Schoten on the fair's board of directors. Now, his coffee company was in the spotlight. Blanke was just warming up, though. He was going to make his coffee a household name throughout the country, not just in St. Louis. Here is a quote from an article from Missouri Life magazine written by Deborah Reinhardt. Cyrus had a talent for folding civic pride into his marketing plans. In 1903, he bought the historic log cabin known as Hardscrabble, built in 1856 by Ulysses S. Grant, from another St. Louis businessman for $8,000. Blanke moved the cabin to the Forest Park Fairgrounds near the Palace of Fine Arts and opened it for tours. The ticket price was 10 cents, knowing tourists would have lunch or coffee inside the pavilion next to the cabin. Blanke's thoroughbred horse, named Village Boy, was used in various public relations campaigns, including appearing with Frederick Dent Grant, President Grant's son, in the fair's dedication parade. Blanke also commissioned a 45-passenger vehicle, an innovation for the time, to transport fairgoers from his factory to the fairgrounds, where they would find as many as 10 concessions, not to mention an elaborate display in the Palace of Agriculture. Cyrus was a master of marketing and business strategy. His company expanded to Chicago, Dallas, New York, Minneapolis, and Kansas City. Cyrus's company lasted for 52 years and finally dissolved in 1942 when Cyrus passed away. Our tin is in good condition given that it is well over 100 years old and has seen a considerable amount of use. The details of the trunk are adorable and typical of the Victorian and early Edwardian period. It's a whimsical piece, and we are so lucky to have it in our collections. Thanks so much for stopping by.